Hare Krishna to everyone online and in person. So we'll continue today, giving devotees time to speak some offering or remembrance of His Holiness Badrinarayan Swami. And we'll start this morning with Brajamandala Mataji. She's gotta go, so we'll start with her and let her speak as long as she likes, and then Paneshri Mataji, and then those online can speak after them.
I wrote down some remembrances of Maharaj, so I'm just going to read what I wrote. I have known Badrinarayan Swami since the late 1990s. The day after I graduated high school, I moved into the temple. There was a ladies' ashram where the Krishna lounge now is. The strongest memory that I have from those times is seeing Maharaj every morning without fail for Mangal Arati and the morning program. And still to this day, nothing has changed. I truly admired his sense of dedication. My husband and I come to the temple 2 times a week for services in the morning. We arrive at the temple about 10 to 15 minutes before Mangal Arati, and even before we open the door to the temple, we could hear Maharaj chanting his rounds. The way he chanted his japa with conviction and a very deep Ram, Ram. Kishore and I went to India a couple years ago. While we were visiting Vrindavan, Maharaj agreed to show us some of the holy places that he liked to visit. He would take us to temples and tell us the history of that particular deity. He would take us around the entire exterior of the temple and talk about the architecture of the temple and how much thought and innovation went into the planning and building of each temple. He would point out the smallest of details and really painted a picture of what it was like back when the Goswamis were in Vrindavan. On this Vrindavan trip, we met with Maharaj, Govardhan, and Abai after the morning program. They had already arranged 2 tuk-tuks for us to go around Vrindavan. One for Maharaj, Govardhan, and Abai, and the other tuk-tuk for Kishore and myself. As soon as we got into the tuk-tuk, Maharaj looked back at us and said, "Hold on tight, this is going to be Mr. Toad's wild ride." Maharaj and I both had a love for flowers and for baked goods. My grandparents have 6 huge Stephanopoulos jasmine flowers in their garden. It's those like wax star flowers. I would take them to the temple and offer to Radha Giridhari. Maharaj really loved those specific flowers because of their enchanting smell. He would say, "Isn't this the nicest meditation when picking and growing flowers? How much your mind is absorbed in Krishna. You get to think about how you will place these flowers on Radha Giridhari's body and Giridhari's turban." Every now and then we have birthday parties in the courtyard for temple devotees. I love baking cakes and cupcakes for the devotees. A couple days after one of these birthday parties, Maharaj came up to me and said, "You know, Mataji, even though I have diabetes, I have been dreaming about having another one of your cupcakes with a warm glass of milk." In times of need, Maharaj took the time to listen and to give insightful advice. I spend once a week with my grandparents, and on one of those days, I was driving and my grandpa was in the back of my car. I looked in my rearview mirror and noticed that my grandfather's eyes were rolling in the back of his head. He was suffering a stroke in the back seat of my car. A couple of days after this happened, Kishore and I went to Maharaj's apartment to talk. As it was such a shock to me, I didn't know how to process what just happened. As a side note, for those of you who have parents you see them as your heroes growing up, and to see this happen breaks that notation of how you think of your parental figures. So we talked for a long time about life and death, what your legacy should be, and how you should treat people while they are in this world. One thing that Maharaj said to me was, sometimes in life, things are going along so smoothly that you really don't have a care in the world. And then bam, Krishna does something so shocking that it hits us right on the head and tells us not to waste time and to get out of this material world. Before we went to meet with Maharaj at his apartment, he left a voicemail that I would like to play for you. I think has some insightful words in it that I'd like to share. I've only shared this voicemail once with my god sister, Anandini from Laguna Beach, because she was going through something similar. But I think they're really nice words.
Hey, Brajamandala. This is Badrinarayan Swami. I'm calling you. It's about 7:30. I left a partial message on your cell. I forgot I was on the cell, to tell you the truth. I go into a conference call that starts at 8 o'clock, and my day is completely booked, just nonstop, till about, 3:30 in the afternoon. I can call you then. I'm not bothered by your call at all. I mean, this is a natural thing. I'm glad you felt comfortable reaching out to me. In case it was cut off on your answer machine, a devotee's wife passed away. She was killed in a car accident. And Prabhupada said, the devotee said, I know the philosophy, I know Bhagavad Gita, I know we're not this body, I know we've had so many wives and husbands and parents, but still, I'm affected. And Prabhupada's response was, and very sober, I was there in the room, it was in Detroit, and Prabhupada said, well, after all, we're not dull stones. We have hearts, we have emotions, we care about people. And what to speak of such kind people who took care of you. So Prabhupada said, sometimes Krishna reveals the naked face of the material nature. Because we're sailing along as devotees, and if we're strong in our Krishna consciousness, there's a happiness that comes. There's a peace. What is it? Nasojite and nakanchite. We don't hanker, we don't lament. There's a natural happiness of the self, Brahmabhuta Prasanatma. So we can become a little too comfortable. Prabhupada warns that that's the danger of the mode of goodness. And it's also there in Sudha Sattva, or pure goodness, Krishna consciousness. And devotees are peaceful. So every now and then, Krishna just gives us a shocking scene to remind us, don't stay in this place. This material world is a dangerous and heartbreaking place. So Prabhupada says that sometimes that Krishna reveals the naked face of the material nature, and it's Durga with her whips and chairs and and chains, riding on a tiger and devouring the living entity, a garland of skulls. That's this material nature. So I'm sorry you had to see it, and what can you do? It's the nature of this world.
The last thing I'd like to say is that I have heard many devotees, especially on Sunday, say that Maharaj was a Prabhupada man. And this is the absolute truth. When Kishore would drive Maharaj to an appointment, Kishore would come back and say the whole drive Maharaj would be telling Prabhupada stories. What has had a lasting impression on me is that one day after Bhagavatam class, Kishore and I were sitting with Maharaj, asking him questions about life and death, and all of a sudden, tears welled up in Maharaj's eyes. This is something that I have never seen him do before. And he said to us, when I die, the only wish that I have is that I want to be back with Srila Prabhupada. There was no one else like Maharaj. His sense of dedication and the utter conviction that this is the truth and this process does work. His sense of humor and quick wit was so fun to be around, and I will truly miss him. Thank you.
Vanchakalpadurubhyascha krupasindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you for this opportunity. I have been at this temple in San Diego since the second grade. So this is my home. And before I start, I'll just like to read a letter that I had written to Maharaj. And this was after his whole episode with his toe getting amputated and stuff. He hadn't been there for Janmashtami. And the next day for Vyasa Puja, he usually sits over in that corner and makes garlands for Srila Prabhupada with plumerias from Guru Krishna and Nimai's garden. And he wasn't there. And so I was worried. And so I had written to him, telling him, I hadn't seen you last night, because I always tell him when the kids are going to do a play, because he likes to be there. And I said, I didn't see you at Vyasa Puja, and it got me worried. So I wanted to see, how you were doing. And so I wrote to him. And basically I said to him, I was reflecting back on my years here in San Diego, and I was thinking how fortunate I am to be in the association of so many dedicated sons and daughters of Srila Prabhupada. And of course you came to mind. I always tell Kanchanabala and Madhusudana Prabhu how I am so fortunate to know them. I realize that I have never really thanked you for all you do for the deities and the devotees. When I heard you were not well, I felt that I needed to share my thoughts with you. To tell you the truth, I'm sometimes afraid of you because you may chastise me. But one thing I know is that your chastisements have definitely also been blessings for me. You have also given me high praise when you acknowledge the work Varsana and I have done with the Sunday school children and the plays. Both blessings and chastisements have made me look at myself more critically and encouraged me to grow as a devotee. So this long-winded message is simply to say thank you for being there and guiding us. We are truly blessed to have you in our lives, begging to always be in the service of the devotees and Sri Sri Radha Giridhari. And he wrote back to me a little bit about his houses. And he said, I'm very sorry I missed the play, what to speak of Janmashtami and Vyasa Puja. When you lose something, you appreciate its value more. As for being afraid of me, you should know that I have deep appreciation of your service. You are strong-willed, and so am I. Krishnadas Kaviraj in this Chaitanya Charitamrita says that devotees are sometimes as soft as a rose, and other times as hard as a thunderbolt, and both are their mercy. Thank you for your kind note. Please offer my deep respects to your mother. So, as I said, I've been here for a long time. And, when I heard of this, like I said, this was the first scare for me. And when I heard that Maharaj had passed, a couple of feelings immediately emerged. One was fear. One was sadness. And this weight of responsibility. And as I was thinking, I was sad because I wouldn't see him anymore. And he was a part of my childhood. My parents have passed. And Maharaj has passed. Rajendranandana Prabhu has passed. So many of our stalwarts, so many people of the old guard have passed on. And so that's where the fear comes in. The fear was because they protected us. I sometimes wonder if we realize how much responsibility it takes to protect Srila Prabhupada's body, which is what this whole institution of ISKCON is. He considered it his body. So all these devotees are protecting the body of Srila Prabhupada. Just think about that. Protecting the body of the spiritual master. So you are the bodyguard. So imagine what responsibility you have. What is our role in this? Now all this time, and as I said, I'm since my parents and my mother-in-law have passed away, they were my, how do you say, my guides and my protectors. And it was always like, oh, they're there, so I'm okay. But now they're not there. Now Maharaj is not there. That means we have to be the adult. We can no longer be the children that are just kind of going along our Krishna consciousness, being part of San Diego Temple. This is the time when we need to grow up. We need to take the responsibility. And he took this responsibility when he was 20 years old. Think about that. Being temple president. And what were we doing at 20 years old, right? And to have that kind of responsibility placed on you and having this deep conviction that you are protecting your spiritual master with your lifeblood, that is the conviction that I feel that Maharaj went with. And I think it really is important that we, as individual devotees, and as also family of ISKCON San Diego, and also the bigger community of ISKCON worldwide, we need to understand individually how much is our responsibility. And we have to be truthful to ourselves. We have to live in integrity, taking a page from Sugava Mahataji's book. Live in integrity and honesty with ourselves, with our vows, with our responsibility to this movement, and ultimately in protecting Srila Prabhupada. So, as I said, I'm going to dearly miss him, but I'm going to remember all the good times. He, as I said, he had a very good sense of, yes, many people have said he had a very funny sense of humor. My kids loved his lectures, and he always had fireworks for them. So when my kids were young, he would always, especially to my boys, who were quite a handful, he would say, I got fireworks. And it was during the Ramanomi, Ram Vijaya festival. They would bring out these fireworks and entice my boys to get involved. And he was so respectful of my parents. He very deeply loved my mother and her lemon pickle. And one incident, so after this incident with Maharaj's foot, I had asked him, is there anything I could do? And in discussing, I had realized he loved my mother's lemon pickle. So at one point I was making the lemon pickle. I made the lemon pickle and I was going to bring it to him. And I came to the temple and I saw him sitting in the front and I said, oh, Krishna, I forgot. And he said, and he looks at me and I said, I made lemon pickle and I put it in a bottle for you and I forgot. And he said, how? And he said something to the effect of, now you're teasing me? You're telling me you made lemon pickle yet you didn't bring it for me? So I said, I'm so sorry, Maharaj, I'll bring it. So immediately the next day I came back to the temple to make sure he got it. And that afternoon he called me and he said, thank you very much for the lemon pickle. It was as good as your mother's. And so for me that was very, very personal and very, very powerful. And I just thought, with so much that he has to do, he just called to tell me he liked the lemon pickle. So I felt very, very blessed. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Paneshri Mataji. No, we had a few people who said they wanted to join online and say something. I'm not sure if they're online right now. Raki Mataji, Dhanidar Prabhu, Malati Mataji. Are any of you online right now? You want to call? Just let them know that we're ready if they would like to speak. Some of Maharaj's disciples, they they wrote an offering, but then they spoke it to Maharaj in one way or another, but don't want to speak online or in person before an assembly.
Are you online, or would you like to speak over the phone or not? Remember? I mean, how long you think? 10 minutes? 15? Okay, so just over the phone? Okay.
Okay. I just forwarded him the Zoom link.
Oh yeah, Zoom. He forwarded, Mukunda Prabhu forwarded that if you want to be on that. If some of that doesn't work, you can do it.
No. Rocky. Okay, Rocky Mataji's taking care of Devan. One thing I was thinking about during the memorial and during the memorial is that the first funeral I ever attended was with Badrinarayan Swami, and it was quite a tragic thing. A young man passed away in a car accident, and Badrinarayan Swami knew his parents, and so I drove him kind of a ways out of state. And his parents were initiated devotees, and the children, grew up in ISKCON, following to different degrees, not as strong as their parents, but they grew up as devotee kids, at least. And then, so this young man passed away, and so we went there. And during the funeral, many different friends spoke, devotees spoke, family members spoke, and many of the offerings were very heartfelt. I mean, they're all heartfelt, but many of them were, from one perspective, one could say very sentimental, and maybe not keeping, not emphasizing the fact that this individual is not gone forever, but not really incorporating the fact that reincarnation is a reality, that Krishna is there, and so on. And naturally this happens, and especially with family members. But then even the boy's parents spoke, and his father is like an ISKCON leader, and he was speaking about his son passing away, and so on. And for someone listening cynically, one would note that the things that the father was saying in this very just devastating event, the things the father was saying were not very Krishna conscious, like to the philosophy. They weren't like to the point philosophically. They wouldn't. If someone was listening, they'd be like, "Well, that's not what I thought. That's not what your books say." But it was just really coming. He was just really devastated. His 20-year-old son just passed away in a car accident. And and Badrinarayan Swami was sitting next to me, and he leaned over and he said something sort of cynical also, that, and I'm not going to remember the words exactly, but it was something like, we need to make sure not to fall apart, like we need to make sure not to like let emotion and like this kind of mundane vision take over at times like these. We need to not become mundane about this, tragic event, but about this thing, And at the time I heard that, oh my gosh, like I was like, I was really struggling, like watching these parents and these siblings, talk. And Badrinarayan Swami said that, and I thought, that is so callous, like that's so intense. Like the way he said it, I thought that's so intense. Like this is his mom, this is his dad. Like I know they're devotees, but like, I thought it was really intense for him to say exactly how he said it, what he said. Even though while listening, I also acknowledge, okay, that's not exactly, but he said that. And I was thinking, well, what's he going to say when he goes up there? Because he was not impressed by some of the things people were saying, what most people were saying. And but then he went up and he spoke, and I was really pleased with what he said, in that he didn't, I felt that he didn't say anything that disrespected the feelings, the devastation of the family members, the friends there. And he acknowledged the tragedy of it. He acknowledged the pain in it, but he maintained a sobriety that wasn't really being contributed by anyone else in the ceremony. And he quoted Bhagavad Gita. He quoted some examples of Srila Prabhupada, and there was something. Yeah, you couldn't call it callous, but you could call it sober at least. And while initially I was taken aback by what he said to me on the side, when his parents were speaking, and even after that, I was still a little surprised by what he said exactly. But then over the years, attending some more memorial services or some more funeral services and other events, I've seen how these events do easily become overtaken by merely emotion. And it's how difficult it is to incorporate Krishna conscious philosophy at a time like that, especially for like the closest loved ones. So it's very difficult to have a real philosophical perspective, and not that we just want a philosophical perspective just to be right, just to be like, not to look like hypocrites or something, but because also having some philosophical perspective is part of the remedy. It's not. It is part of the. It is actually helpful to have that. And so since then, in the years since then, attending different events, I've actually come to, that's been one of the things that I've come to appreciate, that the kind of, one could call it callousness or one could just call it something else, but how there's a place for that, and how there's a need for that, there are benefits from that. And even if on its own it might look really harsh and mean, how it contributes something very valuable sometimes. And memorial services, funerals being just one instance of that. And so that was just like something I was saying yesterday. That's the thing. There are certain contributions that Badrinarayan Swami made, which on their surface are hard to appreciate, or just aren't at all appreciated by many people, but maybe over time can be appreciated better. Or in absence of them be appreciated better, how that provided a very essential element to this event or to this temple. And that was just one example. That's okay. Is anyone online right now who'd like to speak?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, this is Dharanidhar Krishnadas.
Okay, wonderful, Prabhu. Yes, speak, please.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Well, Maharaj was very, very friendly to me. He always respects me. Even he does obeisance to me no matter where he go. Even one time on the alley, temple alley, he did obeisance to me and I did with him too. So we were very friendly, and we are about the same age. So sometimes he called me Dharanidhar, sometimes he called me Dhirubhai, sometimes he said, oh, we are friends, we are brothers. So it was so much good to talk with him, and he was also nice to my family. Even my wife had knee surgery one time, and especially arranged the puja at the temple with Dharma Setu Prabhu. And in the morning, he said he will do the puja before he go to surgery, and so nice to do same kind of service to our family. And he was always saying, I have my plan, you have your plan, and Krishna have his plan. And that was proven. Because we were working on the Ascanida project, and we went to see all the city council people one-to-one. We talked everyone, myself, Maharaj, and our lawyer. So we three people went there. We talked 1 to 1 each council people, and they will say all were against us. They never said that we're going to vote for you guys. So we were very scared. Maharaj was disappointed. And then I remind him, say, Maharaj, you told me that you have your plan, I have my plan, Krishna have his plan. And then at the time of voting, we had a meeting with the council people at the Escondido City Hall. And that was proven that Krishna has his own plan. And we got 3 votes on our side, and we won. That project was be approved. Then going out, he hugged me so much. He said, Dhanida Prabhu, you did it. I said, no, Maharaj, I didn't do it. It's just Krishna did it. And he hugged me 4 times. And he lost his crane. And then I said, Maharaj, you lost his crane. He said, no, you are my crane now. So take me to the car. And I took him to the car. So that kind of relation we had. And then he always liked to hug my family. He always remind me, say, who's at home? Mukta is home, Bhakti is home, Gopi is home. How about the kids? And he always liked to hear good thing and does that. Without asking me, he just sent email. And another thing, he always write email. And then he was going from Mayapur to Vrindavan in the last trip. He sent me voicemail. I don't know. You can hear me or not, but I can try.
Yeah, try.
Yeah.
हमारा फोन में से
हमारा phone में.
then we want it to be yours.
Hey, Garnijar Prabhu, this is Badrinarayan. It's been the GBC meetings and the committees and the committee meetings and this meeting, that meeting. They're a little intense. And then I've been sick for the last few days. But I'm getting better. I'm on my way to Vrindavan. I'm going to get some new deity silver, hopefully, and some other services for Radha Giridhari. And I'll call you from Vrindavan. Thanks a lot, Prabhu. Thank you very much for thinking of me. I'm thinking of you, and we have an extremely important project to finish. Hare Krishna. I still feel like you're hovering.
And then he corrects it by Nam on the voicemail.
So you can
Yeah. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, that's a lot I got, and then we never talk on by email or voicemail or anything. But that was my last memory, and I keep with me all the time. Whenever I have time, I feel bad, then I listen to him, and that remind me the great projects. So I'm working on it. Let me give you some update on the project.
Yeah.
We made grading plans to the city. I went there yesterday. We paid a fee like $92,000 fees just to approve the project. Then they said in 30 days, they are going to let us know how far we are on that project. But we want to start as soon as possible with all your prayers on your help. So Prabhu, that's a great project we have to do. So I need everybody's help and prayer for Maharaj so we can fulfill his dream. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Dharnirapu, for manning that project. He was always stoked to talk about you and being involved in that project.
My wife wants to say a few things.
Oh, great. Malati Mataji, please speak.
Hare Krishna, I don't think I can say much about it. But the only thing I will say that he was, since we came to the San Diego, to our family, he was so much supportive. not by the physical, by the spiritual, and he gave us a direction to pray the Krishna and how to go more further to the spiritual life. So I will always cherish that and I will always remember that. Hare Krishna.
He was pushing us for getting the first initiation. We got first one, then he pushed for the second one. We got second one. Then he said, no, now you have to go to the temple, do the
Service.
Punjari service. And he started that, and we are there now. So that was great for him. Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Babuji. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Could you message Asha Mataji and see if she's available? 'Cause-
Hare Krishna.
okay, good.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Sorry, I have a little cold and sore throat, but it's been a shock for everybody, especially Paneshwari and I. We were in Vrindavan, and Maharaj, 2 days or 1.5 days prior to his departure, he sent me an email saying that Mataji, I am buying these silver plates and for deities, for all the stuff for deities, and it's very expensive, and I paid half of the price and half the price of the full amount, and I need help in paying the rest of it, and so please kindly, and like he just emailed me. I will read it later on. I'm just paraphrasing. So then I emailed him back. I saw it at night time, a little late, and then I emailed him back then, Maharaj, I'm in Vrindavan, no worries, we will, and with our Vaishnavi group and all, we will do it, don't worry. Everybody will be fine, so do not worry, go ahead. And then he emailed me back to that thank you and everything. So I was thinking, then I heard the news next day, but I was thinking Maharaj was a true warrior. Why do I say that? Because his mission was to fulfill his spiritual master Srila Prabhupada, and no matter what his physical condition were, he didn't think one bit about his own bodily comfort. As a GBC member, he had to manage and overlook so many temples. I found out that his service was very difficult and stressful. He once told brahmacharis, I'm sure everybody remembers, that I have to read any legal lawsuit or any documents in the fine print, and not only that, but had to make decisions and resolve the issues, he added. So don't knock on my door every day without any, unless it's important, he mentioned. And I was thinking how his mind was so sharp after all these physical difficulties. My Guru Maharaj last week, he said in the class, offered homage to Maharaj, that in spite of all his physical warranty was expired, but he was still going on. And one time I saw him, after all this service, like the mental and emotional drain service, and he was planting, he loved gardening, which I noticed, and he was on his 4 legs, like arms and legs, and he was planting something, and I saw his legs. Oh my God, I was like, how is he doing this? And he was so happy to do that. And and he told my husband too, that Prabhu, I want you to audit our temple, and you can do it. He added that, how can I check other temples if my temple is not up to date? So I want to keep this. So in every corner, he was like making sure that everything is up to date, and he had very high standards. He didn't compromise in anything about cooking for deities or dresses or deities. Anything had to do with the deities, cleaning or cooking or dress code or anything. And he didn't mind to correct anybody. He used to tell me that if somebody, no, I have some people, if they don't like me, I will add one more in that list, but I don't mind saying it. And he was like true warrior and for Radha Giridhari and Srila Prabhupada. So I noticed. And one time when he had to, as Tarnita Prabhu mentioned, when we had to gather a petition for the Escondido temple, and he called me. I was in Bay Area, I'm still right now, and he called me 2-3 times and he said, Mataji, I need your help. We need, like in one day, we need 1.5 days was left, and I need as many as petition as assigned in this much time. And I know you can, if you put your mind to it, you can do it. And he was just praising me that you can move the time and go ahead and do it. And so I said, okay, Maharaj, no problem. So our Vaishnavi group, all the ladies, just like gopis ran outside, they left their husband, their kids, and they all ran out. Young girls, we have a Vaishnavi group, our reading group, and I told them that Maharaj says, do or die, we need this petition. And they all ran out and got like more than thousands of, I believe, petition signed in Escondido. They left their kids and husband and for Maharaj and for Radha
Your husbands weren't
Giridhari.
against that, right?
Sorry.
I think your
Okay,
husbands
is it
were
too
okay
much?
with it, right?
Sorry?
At least I think your husbands were okay with this one.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I mean, I was in Bay Area, but their husbands were okay. They were very happy. But I hope I'm not going on and on, but if I have time limit, let me know. I can stop.
Well, maybe I'll let a couple others speak, and then maybe I'll go back to you. Can you stay on Zoom?
Yeah, sure. Okay. I don't have much of that. That was all, I had to say, but pretty much I'm done.
Okay.
Thank you so much, and Hare Krishna. I miss him so much, Haribo.
Thank you, Dhanavai Mataji.
Thank you.
I wanted to play, or Jayashree Mataji's at work, but she has a recording that I'll just play over the microphone.
Hare Krishna. I have been coming to the San Diego Hare Krishna temple since 1992. And Hare Krishna was very strange and new thing for me. And I would not like to sit for the classes, Sunday class. And I just attend the first part of the kirtan and sing a prayer and leave right away with the excuse of my 2 little boys. And we go out. One day somehow I got stuck I got stuck and I couldn't go out. Only boys went because they were just going with the Krishna Lounge kids. They're playing around them. And I had to sit. So that day was Maharaj was going to give the class. And as I said, I was stuck as I cannot move. There were so many people. So it was the first time I heard Maharaj class. And since then, I became a fan of the Maharaj classes and to attend the Sunday classes as well. So since then, I started coming in, sitting down, listening, and listen about the parampara, listen about the everything. And the main part of our reason to sit in to listen Maharaj classes, even we are not there, and Sunday morning the Maharaj always talk about the Prabhupada. Whoever doesn't talk about Prabhupada, I don't like their classes. So as my husband Sureshwar Prabhu also, he's a big fan of Maharaj Bhagavatam class too. And no matter where he is, if he goes to his brother's house or anybody's house, he says, no, I have to come back. I don't want to stay anywhere. I want to go Sunday to attend the Maharaj Bhagavatam class. Yeah, so for Maharaj, I had always a very high regard. and I was so shy to be in front of him or even do the pranam to him or say Hare Krishna. And he was very sweet. I always says Maharaj is a $1 million smile. He was very tough as well, which I like the most. I say if the senior people are not tough and the sweet, and no management can be taken care properly. And he was always appreciating one small thing. He's saying, there's one day in the Sunday class lecture, he was saying, do not leave the permanent for temporary. Those his words like penetrated in my mind, and that helped me in so many ways to save myself from being not able to handle the situation what I am. So. And the other thing he told me personally, that when he saw our dog Polo, and he says, Mataji, please be sure your conscience doesn't go when you're leaving the body. And in my mind, I said, Maharaj, please help me. He leaves body before me. And this is what happened. Polo left the body last year, and that also Maharaj's blessings. And yeah, Maharaj was always very nice. He was appreciating any small things we do it. And one day he texted me, which is very strange, and because I never heard from him anything personally. And there was Govardhan Festival, Govardhan Puja Festival. And we offered the lotus flower to all the deities, and he really liked it and said thank you to me. And since I'm regretting today, I never, I was so feeling humble, and I say how I can say Maharaj thank you, or what should I say? I didn't acknowledge Maharaj's message, and I'm regretting for that one. And lately, I know Maharaj's health is going up and down, and as I said, his other side of the thing, which he doesn't like it, and he just approach and say the people directly. And he just chastised me on last year on Govardhan Puja for something, and I really took it to my heart. And it bothered me for a week or two, and then after that I realized that it was my mistake. It was my mistake, and I'm saying yes. This now since Maharaj left the body, and I said what Maharaj chastised me, I will never do that thing again in my life, and that helped me to that's I was feeling that I was wrong by what I did it that day. And when Maharaj left the body, I was so shocked. I was 2 days, I was so sad, Like I said, his being there at the temple itself was very we feel very protected and feel like everything is going, right. And we are not going to see him anymore, which is very sad. But yeah, sure. I will try personally, follow what he was trying to do it for the Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mukunda Prabhu. Whenever you get chance, I want to add one more line or 1 or 2 lines. Thank you.
Okay, let me see. Okay, so let's say Rakhi Mataji and then Danavar, please, after that. So Rakhi Mataji, can you speak now?
Yeah, sure, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Please accept my humble obeisances. We have been seeing Maharaj in San Diego, but we didn't have a lot of interactions. I used to pay obeisances to him whenever I see him. Once I remember it was in the friend, he was with Amoklila Prabhu, and my younger was very young. So with him I paid obeisances, and Maharaj said, Mataji is not needed. Then I said, Maharaj, it said that if you don't pay obeisances to a sannyasi, you have to fast the whole day. Then he was he smiled, and then he said, Mataji, padam yad vipadam. You have to be very careful. This material world is full of dangers. I remember that Maharaj saying that. Then fast forward in Vrindavan, my 12-year-old and I were going for Mangalarti, our first Mangalarti of Radha Shyam Sundar. And we were there eagerly waiting for the doors to be open. And then we see Maharaj enters through the side door, and we were so excited. We didn't expect him being there, and Shriyan and I were like almost jumping up and down, Maharaj, Maharaj. And it was dark, and Maharaj is hearing somebody is yelling, Maharaj, well, he don't know who is it, because he doesn't see, because it's all dark. They keep the lights off. And he used to come every Mangalarti. And then in 21st of February, we went to Louis Bazaar, and we were like walking to the Gangotri store, and we saw Maharaj sitting in Ganga Prasad store, which is next door to Gangotri. And I went and paid obeisances, and I said, I'm from San Diego. And Maharaj joked, he always jokes with a very straight face. Then I said, Maharaj, you know us. We are from San Diego. We are your own congregation. Then Maharaj was not wearing glasses. None of us were, thanks to the monkeys. So he said, forgive me, Mataji. I can't see. I'm an old man. And I'm not going to be in this body for long. Then I said, no, Maharaj, we need you in San Diego. Radha Giridhari needs you. I think that kind of softened Maharaj a lot. And he said, then he was asking when did you come, and who are all with you. Then I was introducing. We had a devotee guide as well with us, a devotee Prabhu. Then he asked, who's this? I said, this is our guide, Prabhu. Then he told him, these are my people. Don't cheat them. And then he showed his danda and said, be warned, I am armed. So then he went on praising Ganga Prasad, that he said fair prices, good quality, he's a good man. And he kept on praising him, that the Ganga Prasad was almost blushing. So then he told me, you have to come here and shop. I said, yes, Maharaj, I'll do. Then I said, Nimai Mataji told me about him, recommended. Then Maharaj was very pleased. Goes to show it, isn't it? Then we paid obeisances and left. But I couldn't go back. I wanted to go to the store. I couldn't go back because everything got busy with kids and yatra and everything. But if I get a chance, if Bhagavan give me one more chance to go to Vrindavan, I would definitely go and show up at Ganga Prasad as Maharaj instructed me. But we left Vrindavan on 26th morning, like 10:30. And when I reached my home state, I heard at night that Maharaj left his body. And it was like really shocking. And I was also kind of, the one shloka came to my mind was like, that yoga kshemam vahamyaham, like that. I just remembered, how Bhagavan takes care. Maharaj was not there for that purpose, but Krishna made sure that he's such a dedicated devotee. He leaves his body in his divine abode. So that brought a lot of relief at the same time, but we were also very shocked. And as always, you also feel kind of a survivor's guilt that could have had more association with Maharaj, maybe should have done more service to him. A little bit of guilt kind of comes into the mind. But then this thing was very special to remember that Maharaj called us his people. These are my people. So that was very, I felt it was such a blessing from Krishna and Maharaj and Radha Giridhari. So I wanted to share that, and I pray to you all, pray to Radha Giridhari that we stay his people. We don't have any qualities, but I hope Bhagavan enables us and he continues calling us his people. Mm-hmm. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Before Dhanavari speaks, I was remembering from that, Badrinarayan Swami definitely liked to take care of his people. And especially if you were sometimes as a brahmachari, he would definitely demand a lot from you or expect a lot from you. But sometimes if you became his personal servant, he'd really take it easy on you also. And I remember when I'd be his driver and I'd take him to places, he'd always like to treat me, like stop somewhere, and like I was a child. Like I drove him to Phoenix one time, and he said, "You know what? You're a young man. I'm gonna let's pull over. I'm gonna pay for you pet the stingrays, and he did. Like, he like went out of his way. So he said, you know, you'll like this. You'll remember this. Yeah, he went to a petting zoo for stingrays. Similarly, we went. I was a servant in India in 2016, and he said, you know what? You're in India. We got to take you to the Taj Mahal. He said, you know, I won't forgive myself if I don't take you to the Taj Mahal, because you know I went there to see Vrindavan, to see different. He said so. Also, he took me another drive. He took me to pet some to it. Yeah, he takes you around. Yeah, and yeah, he likes to treat people who are serving him. He likes to take care and treat the people who are serving him. And yeah, it's fun. Okay, Dhanavari Mataji, you wanted to say something else?
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhu. Thank you for allowing me to speak. One time he said, all the time he said, first time when I moved to San Diego, I'm talking about 12, 13 years ago, and I was coming for a couple of years, and he said, you must take Bhagavatam set and money back guarantee if you don't like it. And he said, and he gave me personally. And then since then, if any time we distribute books, Prabhupada's books, especially Bhagavatam set, he said, he heard the score, and next day if he sees me on Wednesday cooking or something, he said, Mataji, I can leave now. I feel at peace because now you all are distributing books, and especially Bhagavatam set. He was so happy. And then also he said, one thing he said, when I was last year, I went prior to going to Mayapur on Gaur Purnima, I said, Maharaj, would you pray for me that I have a good mood, and when I go to the dham and have right mood, so I won't think about other things. And he said, you must go to pray to Lord Narasimha when you go to Mayapur, and you must, so he will help you in Sankirtan and so many ways. So you must pray very, nicely and focus, and just go there and meditate. And I said, okay, Maharaj. So now I'm realizing that in Vrindavan, when I was there prior to his leaving, one day prior to his departure, our Guru Maharaj took, I was in Yatra in our group, and we were in one dham where there was Narsi Bhagwan's oldest Narsi Bhagwan's temple in Vrindavan on the height. I forgot where it was. A very old place, and somehow I was praying for everybody, and I prayed for Maharaj too on that day, because I remember he was saying, Narsi Bhagwan, if you pray, it will be good. And I was praying for him. I just remember last night that I did pray for him over there, and I knew he was in Vrindavan, but I don't know why I did that, but I did that, and I was thinking that Narsi Bhagwan took care of him, and especially living body in Vrindavan. And what else can you ask? And and one more thing, Paneshwari and I, we delayed we changed our plan as soon as we heard that Maharaj left his body, and we wanted to have his views, darshan last time. And we were saying, no matter what happens, whatever, we were waiting for his daughter and everybody. And so we were waiting, and then we were thinking, no matter how many days we have to stay here in Vrindavan, and I'm very weak-hearted. I've never seen anybody after departure, didn't see anybody's body. But I said I wanted to have Maharaj's darshan, and we did at the Bhaktivedanta Manor, and that was, I felt so good that Maharaj blessed me in so many ways, and I want to continue his legacy, Krishna willing, and with his blessing. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, Dhanavari Mataji. If there's anyone listening online, you're welcome to tune in. We'll wrap things up quickly for today. Prabhakar, Prabhu, would you like to say anything?
Hare Krishna. My humble obeisances into Srila Prabhupada, and please accept my humble obeisances, and I will keep it short. And my respects to Badrinarayan Maharaj, who serviced the temple for the last almost all his life. And my first interaction with Badrinarayan Maharaj was 3.5 years ago when we came to the temple for the first time. He was sitting in the corridor, and he asked Revati Mataji, are you initiated? Then she said, not yet. Oh, the way he encouraged, we will never forget in the life. So that means you have aspiration. So instead of whether you are a 4 months devotee or a 40 years devotee, he always encourages. So, and we lot of personal interactions with him. So when we went to Radha Yatra, he was the way he's encouraging for prasada distribution, and all we will never forget in his life. So all my respects to Badrinarayan Maharaj, and thank you. Hare Krishna.
Would your wife like to say anything also?
I think I will ask.
It's okay for you. Joshua, you want to say one thing?
Nice. Finally, open your mind.
Say any story, share a story.
Yeah, like
Story?
Oh, let's just tell me.
Say what you like.
You're patient.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I remember this Badrinarayan stories, this, and best this jolly, and this. I remember offer this muffins. So yeah, because sweets and loves this rasgulla and jalebi, but this and nice this and jolly this, and it's all do not attend Bhagavad Gita this, and this Badrinarayan left young this. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Revati will say something quick.
I can sit down, no problem. I'm just nervous. Hare Krishna, all glories to Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, my obeisances. And I'm coming to San Diego Temple just past 3 years. Not much of interaction, but the very few times I had, I was, I don't know what to express. His words, his actions, and he showed us what it means that, how life is centered around devotion. And he constantly encouraged devotees to deepen their faith, chant the holy name sincerely, and develop genuine humility and compassion to all living beings. I didn't interact with him personally, but the last time I met was when for the Escondido temple, when we were collecting signatures and all. So I went to submit him. He was waiting in the gift shop. I was so happy. I can see the enthusiasm, he want to do something. The time is running out, we have to complete, we have to do something. I was so touched by his emotions, how he is, this one. But it reminded me, genuine, how he has genuine care for the devotees, and is serving Krishna, and the mission, his dedication to serve Krishna, and also the mission of spreading Krishna consciousness. And but I was and I used to whenever he used to go out, like on yatras or any GBC meetings, I used to like his Sundays classes where the slideshow. He used to give everything whatever he has been doing. So that was very good, actually. I liked it a lot. Every time I used to look forward to those classes, his Bhagavatam classes. I feel like, even if it is a short time, it really left an impression. Like, this is how might be Srila Prabhupada also used to be. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to say a few words. And Badrinarayan Maharaj ki jai. I'm sorry if I've done any mistakes because I was nervous talking. Yeah, Hare Krishna.
One more thing, Revti Mataji is one of the Sankirtan party member. She goes continuously to book distribution. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj loved it.
Yeah. Okay, is there anyone online who'd like to say any last offering or any last words about Badrinarayan Swami this morning? Otherwise, we can adjourn for today. Okay, thank you so much. Hare Krishna.